Okay, so what we have here is 10-ounce fiberglass mat. This is going to be a mat that's going to be 16 by 83, 10-ounce bidirectional. It's already cut to size. And this is 1/2 of the mat. And we're going to mix up 500 grams of silicone made by Raw Materials. It's good stuff. It's about 80 bucks. It's 10 to 1. Using your everyday scale. Turn it on. We're going to set this to grams. And it's already there. This is our black dye. This stuff goes a long ways. One little drop will do probably 2 mats. So right now we're going to pour it into there. As you see, I'm going to set this down. We're at about 475 grams. We're almost there. Start slowing down. We're right at 496 grams. That's pretty close. Put your lid on. I use the raw. It's the 10 to 1 mix. That's the red stuff. It's the stuff that's really hot. Make sure you shake it good. Then we're going to go 10% of the weight, which we're going to do about 50 grams of the red, which should make it 10 to 1. So we should wind up at about 550 grams. Oh, almost too much. $548 total grams, which is plenty fine for what we're doing here. $548 grams of the red and the white. You want to mix this before you add the black, so that you know that everything is good. And I like using a DeWalt drill with a homemade bit. Take off your scale, turn off your scale. And now we will start adding the black with my homemade piece of bent tin scoop thing. You just kind of guess on this. I usually put 2 big blobs in there as like a first. Scrape it off, stick it back in there. As you can see, Big black blob in there like that. And it still looks a little bit of gray, but not by much. It just needs a little bit more black, more glob in there. Then that should make it real nice and black. And as you can see, it's now nice and black. It's starting to release some of the air. It's not really like important. Once you pour it on your mat, you will get the rest of the air out, and it should spread out. It should spread out nicely. I just use a regular 6-inch knife, or like whatever I can grab. But now we're going to pour it onto the fiberglass itself. And I'll try to get a few different kinds of shots of this. It's kind of hard. I got some weird light here. I'll try that for now. So now we're going to take our black and then just kind of pour it out evenly. It's fairly warm day today. It was about 95 degrees outside. This stuff wants to kick within about 20 to 30 minutes. So you got a little bit of a time, but still try to work as fast as you can. Gives you time to play. Get all the air bubbles out of it. Take your knife, scrape it out. Then a good trick is to lay down the cup so as it will kind of roll down the bottom of it, as it won't pour out. Start from the center and work your way out to kind of glue the mat down. Work from the center out. For your first few strokes, go really slow because it will grab your fiberglass mat and really mess it up, cause you a bit of a pain. Kind of hold down the ends and then circle back around. For about the first half of it, go kind of slow. But for this size of mat, I found that 500 grams works pretty well. And once your mat has stuck down to your bottom plate, then you can start to work it into the mat really well. I kind of work from the center out, always kind of flick it out to the ends. You're going to wind up cutting all of that off anyway. You should cut your mat about 2 inches big, is like at first. So you have plenty to trim off, and This particular stuff that I use, it seems to shrink a little bit, but not much. Got a frayed edge here, it's wanting to catch it. You always want to try to keep your mat as flat as you can. And try not to get these ends stuck in the center of your mat. They tend to make a little ball and they'll make you mad. And when you go to press up your skis or your board, you can press that into your base or your top sheet. So you want to go and make this as smooth as you can, and if you get those little blobs in there, just use your knife and they'll come right out. But as you can see, a 500 grams seems to do a pretty good job of about the right amount. And once you have it all spread out pretty well, and it looks like it's all about the same all the way across the mat, then you want to start at one end and work your mat at a 45 degree, just to get it all the way through the mat. So we have a blob right here. You reach down with your knife and get it out just like that. And then go back over that spot, it'll smooth right back out. And then once you get down to the end of it, you're going to turn around and do the same thing but in the opposite direction. And this will ensure that you don't have any voids on the other side of the mat once you peel it off your board. Because that's the side that you're going to see. That's going to be the outside of your mat. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but the air is coming out of the silicone like really well. I got little thin spots like right here. Take your cup that you lay down on the side, kind of put some more in there. You want to try your best to make your mat the exact same all the way throughout. You don't want different stuff. And then on your last few, kind of make long strokes. It'll start looking all the same, and it will float itself out. But this one's turning out really well. And this mat here is cut about 3 inches big, so on the edges it's just not that big of a deal. You're going to trim all that stuff out. And this will be dry enough to peel off after about an hour. And this particular silicone that I use is a condensation cure. And even though if it's like 24% is like humidity outside, it will still cure really fast. If it's cold outside, it takes a little bit more. But we just got a big blob in here, just like this. No big deal. But as you can see, here's a finished mat, and this will smooth itself out once it starts to cure. It's pretty much just like this. I built one right here. This is the one that I just got done. This is the other side, and as you can see, it turned out really nice. There's no voids. And this is the 10-ounce mat. Seems to work really well. And then once it cures, I will come back and we will trim this up and start part 2.